I'm going to go ahead and call the Board of Zone Appeals meeting for the June 24th, 2025 meeting to order. Could I get roll call, please?
Tyson Brooks.
Here.
Bill Downey. Tracy Dennis.
Present.
Jerry Petzel. And Tim Rohr.
Here.
Gentlemen, in your packets this evening is a copy of the old minutes. I did peruse through there and I didn't see anything. If you see any items that need our attention, now's the time. If not, I would entertain a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve as submitted.
We have a motion on the board. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, right hand. Opposed, same sign. Do we have any old items this evening?
We do not.
Okay. In your packets, board members, you have our new items. The first new item is B250606 Lancaster Townships, the southwest quarter 2727 North 12 East. Tanya M. Hofacker requests a variance to reduce the side yard setback from 5 feet to 0 for a pool deck. Property is located at 711 Willowbrook Trail, Bluffton, Indiana 46714. The property is currently zoned R1. Do we have a representative here? Why don't you come on up, state your name, and tell us a little bit about what's going on.
As you can see where the pool is, on the side there is where we're wanting to build the deck to the fence. What had happened is we had started it on a Sunday afternoon, and I went down Monday to get the permit, and that's when I realized we made sure we were off the easement 10 feet, and we were told we could build to the fence from the back. Well, it didn't occur to me that I couldn't do that on the side until I went down there, and then they told me that, and I was like, oh my gosh, well, we've already started this. I don't know what we're supposed to do now.
Which side? The
South
side? So your current started project is on the red line, the property line?
Blue line.
The blue line?
Yeah, well, on your map, yes, where the red line is. Sorry.
Okay. On the south side, the red line right here. Okay. When you say started, how started are you?
We have cement in the ground.
Like post cement holes?
Post and framing.
So on the, kind of the northwest angled one, they're fine on that line?
On the going north, yes.
Yeah.
They're off the back, that was the plan, back off the easement 10 feet, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Who told you, I'm just curious, who told you that you could go to the fence line?
One of the ladies in the office.
She's probably talking about the back.
Yeah,
The,
is the back,
west
they
side.
told us we could build the fence
gotta be
to,
The
because
easement.
we're 10 feet off the easement, and we can build to our fence.
I see.
So it didn't occur to me that I couldn't do that on the side.
Mm. And then were you given a drawing for the permit approval?
We had not seen that yet.
Okay. So, the reality is, like, a fence is not considered a permanent structure. If they have to come through there with something, they'll give you the option of you take the fence out or we will, and if you let them do it, you don't have a fence anymore. So fences are not permanent structures, but a deck is. And so, there hasn't been a lot of times on our board that we have granted a 0 easement. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'm just
Really?
trying to figure this out, because they got 10 foot
Yeah, they had that
on
whole
both
back area.
parts of the
Can you,
property.
if you're going to talk, can you come up here so?
Yeah, come on up.
Because otherwise you won't be picked up on the,
Just state your name real quick and then we'll go from there.
Mitch, Southern.
I thought you looked familiar.
My thought is they got, I guess it'd be 20 foot path down the back side of the property. And I mean, if, let's say they gotta take something through the other yard, they got the whole thing, it's wide open.
So there's a
no-
building right
no,
there, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a shed, that's
There's
fine.
nothing underground
Inside.
except for in the back 10
I mean, there's
foot.
two neighbors, on each side of us that have sheds and buildings in the easement. I mean, we're not even in the easement.
Mhm.
So, the red line,
Yeah,
that's just the property line? And the easement goes,
yes, yeah, yes.
so they've complied with the easement,
That's, yeah, how they're showing it,
I see.
as being out of the easement, but up to the property line on the side.
But then okay,
Yeah.
so they'd run through the easement and then onto the property line right there.
We got an interstate going through the west side there. I figured that's enough.
Is there any, Mike, I don't know if you can speak to this or not, is there any, like, on that property line that's on the south, that's running southeast? Are there any power lines, water lines, anything that's running through there?
On the back, yes, there's utilities on the back, but not
Not in the easement?
Not a lot of this, other than they're like private service. I don't know where
There's
you're.
Yeah, there's nothing in that little area.
There's nothing
We
on
had
that.
it-
There's, where does your electric come up to your building then? To
On
the
other
house?
side of the house.
On the north side,
Yeah.
okay.
You don't have any fiber optics or anything coming in or anything? There's nothing over there?
Because we had it all marked off when we put the pool in, and there was nothing over there.
So technically speaking, they're actually not in the easement?
They're not in the easement, they're just in the 5-yard setback.
5-foot
yard,
setback.
side yard setback required. And that's to create a separation between buildings and improvements on neighbors' properties.
Right, like if you go to 0, how are you going to get around that?
Around it for what?
If you maintain it.
Maintain it,
or
mow it?
construct
Well, we're not gonna have grass under there, so there's nothing to mow.
There's not even gonna be anything under there because of
Okay.
no sunlight, it did.
Yeah, I mean, we'll put rocks if we have to, but yeah, we don't want to have to deal with that, so.
Yeah, the thing is, like, you may have a good relationship with your neighbors now, but we've seen where,
We got the fence marked off a couple inches on our side, so
We've
been
already
surveyed.
spoke with them, and, they are completely fine with us putting it on the property line.
yeah, I mean, you just can't get around that side on your property. You'd have to hop your fence anyway, so.
say what now?
I'm just
It would
I'm
be
just talking
best
out
if
loud.
it was a couple feet off the line, at least, so that you
Is
can
there
walk
any,
around.
is there any way that you can go
You
about,
can walk up the steps on the deck and down the backside. I mean,
Yeah, just on that
is
side.
there any way to get any type of edge there off of your property line at all? That's the $1 million question.
Yeah. Would 2 feet work?
We don't have 2 feet.
What do you mean you don't have it?
Because where the deck is right now and the property line, there's not 2 feet.
I was wanting to go all the way to the fence and then you don't have anything to mess with right there. A little strip of grass, a little nothing, you know what I mean? It's all done.
Are there any other types? Have you seen anything else like this before?
I mean, there's not a property line dispute or anything like that.
It's well
It's all
marked,
been
yeah.
handled.
It's
Yeah, they
well
had
marked.
marked it for
Yeah.
us, actually.
Mhm. Well, they marked it when they put the shed in.
Yeah, and they left it there because they knew that we wanted to put a fence in, and,
How much, is the blue line a fence?
Yeah.
There is a fence on
well, the fence ain't up
The
yet.
blue line's a property line.
the, blue line's the property line, there would be a fence there.
Okay.
So there's no fence currently?
No, not currently.
I see.
How far is that from the pool?
What was that? I don't know.
15 feet?
Probably.
To the closest edge of the pool. 12,
Yeah.
roughly?
Mhm.
It's a round pool, though.
Yeah.
Board members, any other questions that you have at this time?
One thing I see is, this one shows a red line, is that's where the deck's at?
Yes, that's the proposed deck.
Yep.
Yep,
And this one, is the blue line the proposed deck?
yep, yeah, it's just got different colors,
Okay.
yeah.
So this one shows a space in between where the deck is and the fence. Or is this a fence line or is this the property line?
Well, that would be, it's both.
Okay.
So that would be the proper 5 foot off of the property line where the deck would be.
Yeah, that's how we, when they were talking about getting the permit, that's how it was
Okay.
drawing it up.
I mean, everything's gonna be on her property, so there's no confusion there.
It's just a small area that needs to be against the fence.
I'm out of questions.
So the deck's gonna go all the way around the pool?
Well, I don't know about that now.
If it does go all the way around, that's only gonna be like 3 or 4 foot, just so you can walk around. But the majority's gonna be coming towards the south fence there. And then, well, if you've seen the framed part, that's gonna be about it.
You guys good?
Yeah.
Okay.
See if they're public hearing.
Anybody from the public wish to speak to this? Okay. Board members, what are your thoughts?
Kind of looking at this drawing, it looks like most of the properties are all compliant with the 5 foot setback.
Yeah, and it was pretty consistent that there's mostly compliant stuff out there, except for a couple sheds.
You can see the back line, everybody's going to the back line, but they are staying off the side yard. I guess can I ask one more question?
Go ahead. They're still here.
Is there any reason why we can't extend the deck on the opposite side of the fence into that yard, other than toward the fence?
Well, originally, we were gonna put a building back there, a shop, so that's why we didn't want it on that side. Plus, the way the sun is, you will just go blind sitting on that side.
So if you got 12 foot there now from the pool to the property line, you still have a 7 foot deck at the narrowest part of the pool. So that corner would be the biggest spot. Back here? Yeah, like, if you kept 5 foot here, you'd have a pretty good sized deck in that back corner. If it goes all the way to the easement line. I'd really like to keep the setback if it's possible. I don't know.
I think we should work with it a little bit.
I understand in a lot of cases, this is probably a good thing to have 5 foot from the other neighbor, whoever, whatever, but everything's peachy keen here.
Right, but people move. Situations
But it's still
develop.
on her property, I mean, there's nothing they can do about it.
Yeah.
This is the only problem with it, you know?
Right.
There's also, setbacks are set in a way for fire protection too, so if their shed would burn.
Well,
10 feet between buildings is the safety code. So in part of that mindset, there's some element to that.
But-
Understand that,
I know their shed is over too far
That
anyway.
would still leave.
So, I mean, regardless, there's never going to be that many.
yeah, correct. I was, just saying, some of the reasons for setbacks, property maintenance and for,
That would bring it down to 2.9 then.
there's rules for everything, but I don't know if this is a reason for a 5-foot rule. In case somebody's building burns, there's bigger worries. There's houses all around there. I don't think that's a reason.
Think about that.
hey Tim, you want to pull your mic and stuff towards you, thank you. And just push the button so it's up, thank you.
Now you're live.
Good. If you want to make a motion, I'll be okay with
So what do we need if we make it a 2-foot?
That's,
I
yeah,
think
you
two's
just,
fair.
yep, you just make that motion, make a motion to approve the variance with,
Okay, then if that's the case, then I would make a motion that we approve the variance with a 2-foot setback rather than on the property line. So that would allow access around the complete deck.
Yep. Okay. We have a motion for approval of the variance with a 2-foot setback. Do we have a second?
it. I'd second that.
Any further discussion before the board members? All in favor, right hand? Opposed, same sign.
Okay.
Do they need to know anything else at this point?
yeah. So at this point, there is a 30-day appeal period from today's date, since nobody did speak against the petition. You can sign a paper that says you understand that you're doing it within the 30 days, and you can come and get a permit within the approved,
Can I ask something?
yes.
Why is it okay for the neighbor's shed to be in the easement and then the neighbor's building to be in the easement but we can't have our fence, our deck?
It's not okay for them to be in the easement if there's the sheds that are up on that image that show in that 10-foot easement, if the drawing is accurate, if somebody made a complaint to our office, we would have them remove them from the easement. Or
So if we
they'd
just
have,
went against the rules and built our fence there and not said anything at all, it would be okay until somebody complains? Is
it
that
would
what
be
you're
against the
saying?
law.
It would-
So it's okay for them to break the law, but
No,
we
it's-
can't build our.
No, it's never okay.
It's never okay for
It's
anybody.
never okay to
I'm just trying to make sure I understand this.
Yeah.
Well, people, they do a lot of things where they get to a project without a permit. They do things where they don't realize, and then we're involved, and when a phone call comes in, we don't go looking for things, but when there's a call that comes in, then we have to deal with it.
Right.
And it can cost $2,500
I know, I
a
just thought I
day
was
in a
doing the right
fine.
thing, but apparently I was not.
Well, to be honest, in this process, the right thing is to build a compliant building with the setback requirements. So you got 3 feet of extra space to build on today, which is more than what you would just come in and get a permit. So that's,
But if I wouldn't have said anything
So if
wrong,
there's
but
a-
had zero,
If there's a walkway through
you
there.
would have had to tear it down.
not until somebody complained about it.
Well, the assessor's office turns them in about once a year, new construction, if it's not
So
permitted.
did they pay fines?
They up to $2,500 a day.
I doubt that they're paying that.
But that is what the fine would be if it's assessed.
This is ridiculous.
So that 2-foot, so let's say I make it to where you can walk through there, what if I build a table over top of that? So say the deck is, yay high, and then come up above that 3 foot or whatever and build a table across that, basically over to the, above the fence it would be. Would that be fine, as long as you can walk through there?
If it's part of the deck, it needs to be 2 feet off of
Damn
it.
it.
Yeah, let's go.
Huh? All right.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 2 is B 250607 Jefferson Township. It's the northwest corner of 3428 North 12 East. Ryan M. and Rebecca Joy Wilson request a variance to reduce the rear and side yard setbacks from 20 feet to 14 feet for a barn. The property is at 6897 North State Road 1, Ossian. The property is currently zoned A1. Do we have a representative? Crickets. No representative.
I was just continuing it to the next meeting.
I would like that suggestion to be put into a motion, board members.
With nobody present, I'd make a motion to carry it on until the next time we meet.
We have a motion to carry it. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, right hand. Opposed, same sign. All right. Item number 3, B 250608 Harrison Township, southwest quarter of 1026 North 12 East. Otto and Judy Clausen request a variance to increase the size allowance from a 1,500 square foot to a 1,712 square foot for a barn. The property is at 1793 South 300 East, Bluffton, Indiana 46714. Property is currently zoned to R1. Do we have a representative for that one? Come on up, state your names, and tell us a little bit about what you want to do. Is this the new cover sheet?
Yes.
Is that for
Yeah,
this
that's
one?
an updated drawing for this one. It's
Yeah.
on your thing,
So board members, in your packet, you do have the updated extra paper. That's an updated drawing from Meyer. Yep, for this one, this particular petition, yep.
Good evening, I'm Olivia, I'm representing Meyer Building. We are contracted to build this accessory building for Otto and Judy Clausen. And
I am Otto Clausen.
currently, right now, what we have is a building structure at 32 feet wide by 48 feet long. The reason for the size of the building, as Otto was looking to create this building, was storage for his RV, as well as a workshop space and storage for things like a tiller, mower, and other equipment pieces like that. The reason we went down the direction of the size of the building was in order to fulfill all of these items in there and to provide ample space for storage and safety reasons. We went with this at the 32 by 48. His RV is over right around 40 feet, so backing in there, getting everything in there the way he needs to, we would also need that additional space there. Also, with the HOA, aesthetically, we want to be able to put everything in there for storage purposes and not have anything exposed to the outdoor in there. So that's an overall. We're actually just, you noted, Otto and Judy decided to move their accessory building as well as their home 20 feet to the west, which is the updated drawing that you received here. Another thing, just to note on it as well, we're actually at 1,676 square feet, so we're under the 1,712. What happened was when we calculated the entire porch, the 11 by 16, rather than just the 10 by 14. So there's the additional concrete around there, the overhangs that was calculated, making that 1712.
That makes sense.
So, yeah, a little oversight on our part. So we're actually a little under the 1712.
So this proposed is where the new house would be built?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep,
correct.
yep, makes sense, makes sense. And
And
then the ingress egress is,
both the house plan and the building, the barn has been approved, or have been approved by the HOA.
great.
So, board members, in the past, when we were talking about a larger than normal sized residential lot, we have looked at allowing a slightly larger accessory building.
What is a normal residential lot? .3?
I'd say, yeah, somewhere to a quarter to a third of an acre. But much smaller too. So that it, in this case, it would fit better, or look more appropriate on a larger lot than what it would look like in a more housing subdivision, looking parcel. But not to say that the same allotments may not work as well in some of the other parcels on this development.
Is this like, maybe a subdivision or something?
Yes, this is the new subdivision off of Wayne Street.
Okay.
This will be the first house building.
The new one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Have all those lots been sold?
No, this will be the first one.
First one. Nice.
So the backside's only gonna be 5 foot off the
Yes, and
property
that's the normal building setback for that zoning district.
Okay.
So it'd be compliant with that. Initially, there was a utility easement back there. They decided they didn't need it. All the utilities run on the front, so it just sets the 5 foot setback compliant.
Perfect.
So it's 100 and some square feet bigger than what it originally was, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
176 to be exact.
Yep.
So we're in the 1800s now?
No, it's
No, you asked wrong.
over
It's,
1,500. How much
yeah,
bigger than
it's,
1,500?
it's actually smaller
Than
Right.
what was applied.
than what was
Yeah, what-
applied for.
Yeah.
Correct.
They figured in.
I didn't say whatever,
No, it's,
you're, whatever you're saying is what I meant to say. Maybe I didn't say that way.
I could have heard wrong too. That could have
No,
been
you
me.
probably didn't, but no, it's, yeah, okay,
You're
all
on.
right.
I figured the porch.
All right.
Any other questions?
Any kind of lighting or anything on the outside?
There
There'll
is.
be one light on the front over the door, and then there'll be, on the porch, there'll be some overhead lights in there.
So nothing that's gonna be bright to shine like off the property or anything like that, okay.
Tracy, good? I think I'm good. Anybody from the public want to speak to this petition? Now's your chance. All right, board members, I'm willing to entertain a motion.
I would make a motion that we should approve the petition as submitted.
We have a motion to approve as submitted. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion before the vote? All in favor, right hand? Opposed, same sign.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. It's going to be a nice building. Okay, item number 3, but was 4, is B250609 Nottingham Township, the southeast quarter of 34-25 North 12 East. Rick L. and Beth A. Fichter request a variance to reduce the front yard setback from 80 feet to 50 feet and increase height allowance from 100 to 120 for a grain bin. Property is located at 11711 South State Road 1, Montpelier, Indiana, 467359. Property is currently zoned A1. Do we have a representative? Come on up and state your name and tell us a little bit about what's going on.
My name's Todd Fichter, and I'm here to represent for Rick and Beth. We laid out this facility, I think, in 2005, and we intended to put a bin in this location. I think Mike told me at the time we had accounted for the 50-foot setback from the highway, which was the current setback at the time. I think in 2023, maybe it changed, or in that area, it changed to 80 feet. So we're requesting that we have a variance to move it within 5 feet of the old line, so it would be 55 feet away from the state highway.
So when you planned all this, you were looking way ahead and were looking at that the 50 would be fine. And then they changed the rules on you.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
What's the grain bin dimension?
I think it is 64,
64
I think 64.
diameter.
Yeah, correct,
So the bin itself's 120 feet tall,
correct.
and there a leg above that? Or is it a
No.
back system?
It's about even with the leg, and we'd have a conveyor that went from the leg
Okay.
over to the bin.
So you're already at 120 feet with the leg?
The leg, yeah.
Okay.
Kind of figured.
So the diameter is only 60 feet,
I think it's 64.
but you're asking for 72?
Oh, maybe it is 72. I don't remember. I bet it is 72.
The circle's showing 72.
It is 72, I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem.
Yep. 72. I knew I'd priced a couple different sizes, but that's probably what I landed on.
This is going to sound really weird, but over 100 feet, do they have to have any type of aerial lighting, anything? What's
No.
the threshold for that?
No, it's not tall enough for that unless if it was close to an airport, which it is not.
Okay.
So
No locals out, and there's no local?
there is not in that area. Not.
We ran around there quite a bit, but I
Yeah,
can't think
don't
of
know any
one.
airports.
Yeah.
I
No,
can't think
it's-
of one
it's-
either.
It's at 200 feet. That is required no matter where.
200?
it is. Yeah,
Okay.
so,
So they're well under.
yeah.
Okay.
No.
Weird question, I know, but
Yep.
just thinking out loud.
Is there any way to move the bin at all to make a little bit more room there?
There's not really, the driveway, we're right up against the driveway.
I'm kind of familiar with that area. I think the highway's pretty flat there, so I don't think visibility pulling out on the roadway is going to be an issue with the
There'll be no
equipment,
issue
the
there,
semis,
no.
with 50 feet of clearance,
55.
or 55, yeah.
So it'll actually be 55 feet?
Yeah,
55,
yeah, it's not going to be
Should
quite at the
right
50.
there.
Yeah, I see that in there.
They're asking for 50, but there's a 5-foot wiggle room. In case you bought a crooked tower.
They said, don't dig straight.
Yeah.
Board members, you have any further questions for Mr. Fichter? Anybody from the public like to speak to this? Okay.
I'd make a motion to approve it as written, to bring setback back to 50 feet, or 55, I should say.
Well, it's 50. They're asking
Yeah.
50, so. Okay. We have a motion for, to go from 80 to 50. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion before the vote? All in favor, right hand. Opposed, same sign.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, our last new item this evening is B 250610 Harrison Township, southeast quarter of 426 North 12 East. William Vaughn requested variance to reduce the front yard setback from 5 feet to 2.5 feet for an existing pool. The property is located at 329 East, Ohio, Bluffton, Indiana, 46714. Looks like Mr. Vaughn knows the drill, and he's going to state his name and tell us what's going on.
My name's William Vaughn. I live at 329 East Ohio Street. And I had a pool, an above-ground pool put in, and how do I want to say this? I had a friend give me some advice and says, yeah, you can do that. And come to find out, I'm 2.5 feet where it should be.
I see. And then, did you get a permit for the pool?
No, sir.
Do they need a permit for a pool?
Yes, and this is would be at the point of where we determined that there needed to be something additional when the measurements came in.
Gotcha.
And that was another thing too. He said if it wasn't attached to your house, you don't need a permit. I'm like, oh, okay, well, this guy does this and, well, he's not around here anymore, so.
Had to get out of Dodge, didn't he, William?
Yeah.
Is there a fencing, any type of fencing in there or anything near your pool?
There's
No, it's on the outside.
fences out in the right of way.
I see. Is the blue line on this picture, is that the actual property line,
It's close to it.
close to it? So how much space would you say, Mr. Vaughn, is between the pool and your fence if you're walking inside there?
If you're walking inside.
Yeah. Can you get a mower through it?
Oh, yeah,
It's
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's what I'm concerned about, you know?
Yeah, there's plenty of room for more. Actually, I got a rider, I can go through there. so-
Good.
It's probably 8.
8 feet?
Yeah.
I don't see any issues with this.
Yeah, so the pool is 2.5 feet in on the property, so similar to what we approved in the first petition. So there is, even if something would happen and you would have to pull your fence in at some point, there's still room between the pool and the fence.
There'd still be 2.5 feet.
Yes.
There'd be 2.5 feet for him to
Yep.
do what he needed.
Correct.
We just approved a 2-footer, so. Okay, that makes sense to me. Board members, any other questions?
Not me.
Public, now's your chance. You've been quiet all night. It's getting a little boring in here.
Let's keep it that way.
You don't want to be the first one. Oh.
You don't want to be the first? All right, now, since someone from the public, board members, I'd be willing to entertain a motion.
I don't see no reason why we shouldn't.
I don't either.
The way it's written, you don't have any plans for a deck or anything like that around there?
No, I don't.
But just do it on the other side, you know?
Look at it.
Until we got here.
Wow. All right, first one's here.
Oh, man.
Then I would make that motion, we approve.
All right, motion to approve. Do we have a second?
I will second that.
Any further discussion? All in favor, right hand. Opposed, same sign.
Thank you, gentlemen.
You're welcome, thank you.
So at this point, does he need to come in to get the permit then?
Yep, so the next step, the same thing, 30-day appeal period. Next step will be getting the permit and come and sign the document. Go from there. Yep, good to go.
Any other business, sir?
I don't have any additional business.
Any advice?
Advice? Ooh, boy.
Sage comments
Oh, no,
from
you don't want my advice.
the vice director?
No.
All right.
No, I will note.
We do have a meeting.
Yes, we do
What is
have a
that date?
meeting on
We will have a July meeting.
the 22nd.
July 22nd,
Yes,
okay.
I believe we have 3, 4, or 5 petitions, depending on.
Again?
Mark your calendars, gentlemen. Well, we forwarded that one.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
so we
right.
have an extra one.
We have an extra one now on top of the 4 we have.
Yeah, so there'd be 4 total.
25th?
July 22nd.
Yeah,
Okay.
so,
I'll be on vacation, I'll have to check.
okay. Well, you have to make sure Bill. Other than that, I would note on your agendas and your legal ads, you'll notice on the top part, there's a listing of all board members and staff. Indiana code went into effect, goes in effect on July 1st. That requires that all meeting notifications have all appointed members, information and appointments and terms on those documents. So that's why you're seeing that from here on. That will be part of our agendas and legal ads and all that stuff. So part of that process. We'll highlight why you see that. Otherwise, I don't have anything additional.
Okay, if there's nothing else, I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn this.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?